Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Nighttime Bill. Today we're starting off with trying to get these old rusted up windshield frame hinges for the Jeep usable, because I priced some and I didn't like the price of them, plus it was hard to find one for a 65. Most of them I was seeing was for a lot newer Jeeps. So we're just trying to get these to where they're usable. And I was gonna make a plate to just like permanently have the windshield standing up, and that's cool, whatever, but I mean, if I can just get these loosened up and working, then it'll be even better and look better, look more original anyways. I don't feel like my plate would really look all that cool, so I'm just trying to break this rust up and spray it down and get it loosened up. All right, so I've wire wheeled them and hammered them back and forth and got them moving some, breaking some of that up, wired wheeled them again, and now I'm spraying them a few times with some PB Blaster and just letting them sit there. Then I come back, spray them again, all that. We'll see how that works. All right, so I did remember one thing, the gear shift, like all the way up, she's hitting. This is an old, I think it was the four-wheel drive shifter out of the old Jeep. Thinking about cutting it right about here and cutting this one right about here, roundabout, and it'd be about like it right there, welding her on there. There's my pencil. I got crap everywhere. So right about here. And right about here. So plan anyways. And the other day I did wire in a dedicated plug for my welder. You know, I haven't tried it yet because I haven't had to use my welder in the last few days on high power. So I guess this will be the first time I get to try that out, and hopefully it helps. So it's just a little flux core, but I was blowing on max power, I was blowing the fuse or tripping the fuse like every few seconds. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so here's what we got. Got that cut. Beveled just a little bit. That one's cut, beveled a little bit. Now I gotta grind me off a spot for my ground to go, because of course I always forget that until I start to want to weld on something. All right, and that's what she looks like now. She ain't perfect, but it'll do. I'm gonna rough it up, throw a little black paint on it. And there she is. It's kind of goofy looking with that crook in it, but look, nowhere close to here. So that'll work. By the way, my plug over here on the breaker by itself worked just fine on Max there. I mean, that didn't take long at all to weld, but if I was welding anything else, then that would have kicked off like a couple different times. But I'll know for sure once I have to weld something else that's thicker metal. So, not completely out of the woods yet, but we're closer because it did fine there. So, they're still soaking. I've taken them out a couple different times and beat them around to make sure they're still moving, and hopefully getting some of that PB Blaster in areas that was completely dry and rusty. And now I'm probably gonna crawl around this thing or roll around this thing on my back with a body hammer, maybe a pry bar or something, to try to knock a couple dents out just so they don't look as bad. Like, we ain't going for a beauty queen or nothing, but I'd rather not have dents in it that look like a bull ran into it or something. So I guess let's get after it.
A few moments later.
All right, so I just messed with a few of these dents. These dents have been in this thing for at least 30 years. I mean, because it's set over there for a good portion of that. But this thing has always been dented up, even when I used to ride in the back of it every now and then with my dad driving up the mountain on back road, you know, like dirt roads and stuff, trails and stuff like that. This thing was beat up then. And I'm 36, so I mean, look, it's been a long time. It's been beat up. It's never gonna be straight. It was never gonna be straight. I actually wanted this to be like a patina, just slammed down and all that, but the only reason this thing is stretched is because the original frame was absolutely rusted and pitted like bad. And I wanted to keep it original length and everything and just get it down as low as I could and just make it a cool little cruiser. Obviously, things changed. The frames back then on these was so thin already, and then it was rusted and pitted real bad on top of that. I took a grinder to it, tried to get some of it off, and then it just got a lot paper thin. So that's the reason I got rid of the original chassis and everything. So I wanted this to be a patina build because you can see like the red, white, and blue in the original of the tub up here and everything. I was gonna like sand it down just a little bit to show some of that, and like clear or patina sauce or something like that, and leave the holes and all that. I was gonna do all that, but obviously I'm not gonna be able to match all that patina. Is the only reason I'm even debating on or even talking about like spray painting it and stuff, really, because that's all I'm gonna do. But anyways, I just went around with some of the dents. I got some of them out just a little bit. I mean, they're still horrible. There's still a few little small rust holes, or some rust holes here and there in the body itself. But the body is good and secure and all that, and it's not the structure and blah, 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 and all that. So, what I'm about to do, I'm going to take my grinding pad around and hit some of these real bad, the rusty spots and all that. And then we'll come around and sand, rough some of this stuff up. And then I'm going to primer it, so. Well, I am going to, these little, where they used to have them little snaps, where they used to have like a cloth top and it just snapped to it. I'm going to go around and cut them off because them bug me for some reason. I don't know. The rest of it don't bug me. I don't know why those does, but I'm going to, I don't know why those do, but I'm going to cut those off. And then I'll go around, rough it up. I'm just going to shoot it with some primer and see how it looks. I don't know. Do I need to do that? Or do I need to go underneath and rough all that up and put the... Man, I'm all over the place. Let's get after it and do something. Oh yeah, I do have these one spot over here where I added a piece in that this panel here. Obviously, I need to go down through here with a sander, angle grinder, and or my sanding pad, disc, whatever. But right down here, it's not meeting up the greatest. Them some sloppy welds too. But this is actually come apart a little bit right there. So I need to, I'm gonna take my angle grinder and cut up this just a little bit to bring this back together and weld it back together down through there on that last little piece and make that look a little bit better. There's rust holes up there. But, I mean, we're not going overboard because I ain't got the time or the money to do that. Because if I was going to do that, I'd just order a brand new tub and brand new this and brand new that, and ain't nobody got time or money for that. Not over here anyway, so here we go. All right, so I got that down there fitting a little bit better than it was. It's still ugly, it's whatever. But then I went around and cut all those little snaps and stuff off. There was a bunch of them left. I got all of them, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why they bugged me so bad, but they did, so I just cut them all off. And look, some of y'all might be cringing out there because I'm not too worried about getting it straight. I'm leaving the dents. I'm leaving some rust. I get it. First off, I stretched this thing over, a year? Might be 2 years ago now. It's been on the back burner after that for all the moving, build my house, blah, 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 blah. Well, I wasn't in the best circumstances then. I didn't have level floors to work on. I didn't have none of that. I was working in the dirt and the mud and the rocks and all that mess. Plus, this was a complete basket case when I got it anyway, so it needed new everything, and I wasn't going to put new everything into it. Key point to learn from this is a vehicle don't have to look perfect and be completely straight and everything be completely right for you to enjoy driving it. And I mean, and that thing's just so ugly that I'm gonna enjoy driving it because people are gonna be looking at me like, what in the world is this? So it's whatever. But I'm about to take a quick water break, wash some of this dust off, and then I might start roughing this thing up a little bit, I guess. Time to get the sanding paper out. All right, so that quick water break turned into way too long of a break. But then I did a little cleaning, got her jacked up, the wheels are off of it, taped up the headlights, took off my marker lights, took off the windshield frame, all that jazz. Used my air compressor to blow cobwebs and some of this mess out. So, I guess it's time to break out the sander and hit this thing with some rough grit, and then I'll go back with some finer grit, and then we'll throw some primer on it, I guess. It's gonna look horrible, but at least it'll be one color. Alright, and of course it is starting to rain. Look like it's gonna be storming a little bit, so I guess we're probably gonna be doing some more time lapse. But I went over the whole thing with my orbital sander. I know, I'm not using the right stuff, but I keep telling you I ain't a professional. Does it make you feel better that I'm gonna be using spray paint? But I went over the whole Jeep, and I think all I got left is to go over the hood a little bit, and then I'll blow this thing off and wipe it down and start throwing some primer on it, I guess. Well, I am burning up, and it is dadgum hazy up in here. I'm probably a little loopy, to be quite honest with you. But she's all, well, I was fixing to say she's all one color, but you know, the dash is black and the inside's black. But here we go. Oh, before I turn this camera around, she ain't perfect. You see holes here and there, dents everywhere. But it's kind of cool to see it all in one color. So here we go. There we go. See a big old dent back there. You can see my lines where I patched in. Dented up down through here. Got some holes there. Something used to be there apparently. Fenders are not perfect either. See a little pittedness around them. The hood's the best looking thing of the whole Jeep. Should be fun to drive though, it's all that matters really. This side's all dented up, got some rust down there. Holes again in the side. I have no idea what they used to have there. I also don't know what this hole is. That would be the antenna. I have no idea what that is. Dented up. You can see my patch a little better over here, unfortunately. Just look at it from an angle, you can't see it as bad then. And then this is where a spare tire used to mount, and it looks like it got caved in a little bit right here and crinkled up there in the middle, rusted out. There we go. But there we are. She's in primer. Pretty awesome. I am glad we got that gear shifter, the gear shifter extended and everything, so it's not gonna hit my dash when I shift in my 1, 3, and 5. Oh wait. Yeah. And all that. So that's pretty cool. That, and it honestly, it probably looks better on camera. I understand that. But honestly, in person, I thought it was going to look worse than it does. So, you know, kind of evens out, I guess. So with that being said, thanks for watching Naptime Builder. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button to help me out. I'm keeping pumping out videos. Some are not as great as others. None are fantastic, I understand that. But I'm just doing what I can. Every 5 days, y'all. That's what we've been doing here lately. It seems to be working so far. Seems like I can keep up okay with 5 days. But every 5 days, we dropping a video. Haven't failed yet, so we're gonna see. Catch y'all next time.